What is up, guys? Here back with another YouTube video. In today's video, we're talking about a big cool down across basically the entire US, the tropics ramping up, and some flash flooding. Let's get right into this video. Alright, the first thing we're going to be talking about in today's video is this huge, massive area of extremely below average temperatures across the US by the Climate Prediction Center here. Look at this. The entire central and eastern US under this really deep blue area of extremely below average temperatures across the central, northern, and the midwestern portions of the US, the whole eastern and central part, and even almost the western part of the US, seeing this massive cold blast of air. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to feel like winter out here, because it's still August in these regions, but this does mean your temperatures could get down to the 70s and maybe even lows in the low 50s and maybe even high 40s in some spots, especially in the midwestern US, in like Wisconsin, Michigan, or any of those regions. I'm in Missouri, and here it's been really nice. 70-degree weather. It's been beautiful outside. So get out there, as this weather is going to be amazing. It's not going to be freezing cold like it says on this map, just much below average compared to how it typically is. If it's typically 8 degrees in your area, it's going to be more like 70 degrees in your area from this crazy cool blast that we're having, which is awesome. Now, if we look at the temperatures from the GFS model across a lot of the US, look at this cool, extremely cool air across the US. And this is really rare for this time of year, guys. It's not often that we see these massive cold blasts. It starts to get a little more prominent once we get into the September, late September and October months. But in August, late August, it's not too common that we see extremely cold air coming from Canada. I mean, if we look at this 138 hours out right here on Thursday, September 4th, we're seeing almost 20 to 25 degree below average temperatures in the central and midwestern portions of the US across these areas, as several cool air blasts will be pushing in the portions of the central and eastern US, causing potentially weather in the 60s and 70s in these regions. It's going to feel absolutely beautiful out there. But not just that, it's going to definitely cause more of a calmer period of weather, I'd say, is what we're already seeing right now. But if you look at the western US, they're just getting above average temperatures. They're missing all these cool air blasts, and they're just going to be seeing above average temperatures for a long time for the start of September across a lot of the western and northwestern portions of the US. So you might not enjoy that there, as we could get some really high heat, especially in Washington, Oregon, Idaho regions, in this portions of the US right there. But wow, there's really cool air that will consistently occur for a long time. You could see some changes getting into portions of later into September, but definitely a lot of cool air heading in towards the central and eastern US. Now, if the storm's ongoing right now, we do have a slight risk of severe storms in effect across portions of southern Colorado, including portions of the Panhandle of Texas, the Panhandle of Oklahoma, and southern Colorado and New Mexico regions, where some isolated severe thunderstorms are producing some hail and damaging winds. Same thing in portions of Nebraska near North Platte areas, where some severe weather is ongoing right now, but nothing too significant across this slight risk of severe storms. We also do have a flash flooding risk in effect today. It's a day one slight risk of flash flooding is in effect for the severe thunderstorms currently ongoing across portions of the Panhandle of Texas and the portions of northern New Mexico regions and those higher elevation areas in southern portions of Colorado regions, where we do have some potential flash flooding possible, as the severe storms are currently going to be producing some really heavy rainfall rates that could lead to flash flooding over the coming hours. So definitely be prepared here if you're on Interstate 40, especially here near Amarillo, Clovis, Lubbock regions, under that flash flooding risk today. And the same thing for portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, and another flash flooding risk in effect today across Mobile, and the portions of Louisiana and southern Mississippi regions, where you do need to be staying safe. Now, for tomorrow's flash flooding risk, we do have a slight risk of flash flooding in effect here across portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas, as some storms could have caused some heavy, definitely some really high rainfall rates, especially here in central Kansas and central Nebraska regions tomorrow in the afternoon hours. So definitely be prepared for some flooding in these regions. It is a low end, slight risk of flash flooding, but anything could happen, and we could see some really heavy rainfall occur if any straining of thunderstorms does occur. Now, we do also have a slight risk of flash flooding in effect here, ranging all the way from New Mexico all the way over to near Dallas, Fort Worth regions here, including Amarillo, Lubbock, and the same areas that are kind of in a flash flooding risk today, just a little bit shifted a little bit further to the southeast across these regions, where we could see some heavy rainfall rates and flash flooding possible. The flash flooding could definitely be maximized there in the high elevation areas and burn scar areas, where flash flooding is the highest likely, more centered portions in the portions of south eastern New Mexico regions, maybe Clovis, Roswell areas that could see some flash flooding. Carlsbad, so definitely be prepared there. Maybe Ruidoso, which gets a lot of flash flooding in these burn scar areas. So definitely be well aware for that, as any little rain could cause some pretty big flash flooding in these regions for tomorrow. Now, the last thing we're going to be talking about in this video is the tropics. As we do have a tropical disturbance currently with a 30% chance of tropical development off the coast of Africa, which is a yellow lemon right now. This is a tropical disturbance right off the coast of Africa. It's basically in Africa right now, and it hasn't made it out to sea yet, meaning we do not have a lot of tropical data until it really gets out to sea. So if any models do think it becomes a hurricane, they won't catch on really as much till it gets out to sea, because we'll really see how much this thing can develop. So there's still way much uncertainty. This thing is super far away from any US impacts or anything else. Right now, there's nothing that says it will impact the US. None of the models are showing it, but anything could change. This is just something to watch. It's really far out, so don't get concerned by it yet. But this is just something to watch, as it is hurricane season, and we definitely do need to be watching this tropical disturbance with a 30% chance of tropical development that could support some slow development with this system as it moves west towards westward in these regions. So definitely we will be watching this. All right, I hope everybody did enjoy this video. The weather is just really quiet right now. There's not a lot to talk about. I need to make a video, but we do have those flash flooding risks, the isolated tropics. But the main thing is just this big cool down across a lot of the central US. Not much severe weather, and the weather's been quiet, but it's been good that's quiet. So enjoy that nice weather outside in the central and eastern US. If you're in the northwest, it's going to be really hot. But besides that, enjoy the weather if you're in the central and eastern portions of the US. We'll be watching that tropical disturbance and definitely prepared in Texas and New Mexico regions, as some flash flooding will occur in those areas across the next few days. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and bye everybody.